Hello viewers, today we're going to be cleaning a set of Uniden telephones. This is the model DECT1580-4WXT. 3 regular handsets in the gray color and 1 waterproof handset. These are pretty painless to clean, they come apart really easily. The buttons, I'll show you what they look like when we get into it. This one, I mean, you just washed it with soap and water, nothing to that. So let's get into these. Now, somebody made a claim, I think it was that letter, or the letter H, or the H, that claimed the speaker in the bass is the same as the speaker in the handsets, and I don't think that's the case. You know, just on a side note, I've been on this thing lately about doing things that makes life a little bit easier, and for whatever reason I always had that over there, and I had to constantly reach over there and hit the key and when really I could just do this and move it over here like this, and then this can come off and this could go over here, because actually it could probably just go up like that maybe. Yeah, that's fine like that. I hardly even ever use this regardless. There, now the bits are easier to get to. Well, this isn't quite what it should be either, but whatever. Okay, anyways, so as I was saying, that letter seemed to claim that the speaker in the bass is the same as the speaker in the handset, and that is not true. So we'll offer some evidence to that momentarily. So to get into the first handset, I'll show this one in full, then I'll just quick through all the other ones. We have 2 screws at the bottom. And then it just splits open. There's a couple of tabs, halfway up or so. Another thing you got to watch for is the speaker wires. You don't want to just tear it apart, because you'll break the wires or cause a soldering issue or something. So once we're inside here, there's another 2 screws on the speaker mount. And then this comes off. That wire stays in there. I believe that wire is, like the antenna kind of contacts it and it jumps on there. That's kind of a neat design. That's ready to clean. Is there a gasket here? There is a gasket here, so we'll take that out so it doesn't get lost in the sink. And then the board is just 2 screws up at the top. And then the board should lift right out of there. Oh, these are not the design I was thinking of. These buttons are the plastic kind. On some of them, the buttons are like glued onto here, and it's really easy to deal with. This is not going to be as easy to deal with. So what we're going to do in this case is I'm going to keep this on, and I'm going to just kind of hold it like this, and then I'll wash it in place, and that'll be okay. So that's that. So we'll wash all that, and do the same procedure for the other 2 handsets. So I'll go through those now. Cradles have 1 screw in the bottom. And I believe they come apart from the front. Take a little bit of effort to get the snap undone. There we go. And this has no screws within it, so this just kind of comes out. And this is polarity sensitive, so you want to pay attention to how that goes. Okay, and now into the speaker containing base. Okay, so all I want to do here is pull the circuit board out from the top portion. I'm not going to wash the bottom portion of the base. The ribbon cable here is pretty sturdy, but that'll give us enough room to open this up. And see how this is made nicely so it sits flat here? You can open this up and service it. Pretty good antenna ridge on there. Nice big capacitors. So even in the late 2000s, Uniden was still making stuff correctly. It's such a simple board in here too. Alright, so we've got some screws here we'll take out. There appears to be some kind of a glue on there, so that may or may not come off without a fight. Yeah, that's going to have some resistance. I'm not sure why they would have glued that in like that. It's kind of odd. Fortunately, it's not really strong enough glue to make it unserviceable. It's a little bit of a nuisance though. And so ultimately here's the speaker, and while, well, it's not even the same diameter, it's nothing like. So that puts that to rest. What else needs to come out here? This will come out. Like that. And this is kind of dusty in here. Again, I'm going to keep this and use that to hold everything in place. Pull these charge contacts out. And this is now, jeez, I don't want that to happen. And now this is free and ready to be cleaned. Well, I'll deal with that off video. And in this one, the only thing I want to do is make sure the screws is tight, and then we're just going to scrub it down with water and soap. And as long as these screws are tight, which they are, there should be no problem. I'm going to take the clip off of there to make it a little bit easier to clean the clip. And this is also, you know, waterproof as long as it's just going down from the surface, so we'll just wash that off as well. Here's the handset cleaned up. Looks pretty good. There is some scratching at the top right of the screen, and most likely that's from an earring. I could clean that out, you know, I could polish that out and probably get rid of it, but I'm going to be using these, so it's just going to get like that again anyway, so I don't really see a point in worrying about that. One thing I did want to mention here, this is a little bit different than some of the other 150s out there. They must have had a number of designs over the years, particularly the DCX200s and a lot of the Uniden True 9485s, I think it was. These navigation buttons, the 4 navigation buttons, were not on this piece. It was on a different piece, and it always broke. And this is the correct design. I'm not sure why it took them this long to figure this out, but this is exactly the way that it should be designed, and that's how it is designed. So let's get the reassembly going here, because it's getting tired and I'm getting late. Although it looks like there is a little bit of water in there still, so we need to get that out of there. Okay. Make sure there's no dust on the screen. And we'll drop this into place. I'm not going to clean this. It's not really that dirty. And these never seem to have button problems, so I'm just going to leave that alone. Okay, set that down in there. Screws in. What's going on with the drill? It seems like it's going kind of slow. Okay. And on the back, drop the speaker into place. Zoom this in a bit, would be useful. And let's see here. Oh, we gotta put the gasket in first. That's very important so it doesn't reverberate in there. And then this is gonna go like that. And these two, ideally you clip it up there at the top first, and then you pull it down, and then we can screw that into place. Okay. Now we'll close this back up. And technically that should be taped on there. I'm not going to worry about that because the tape just folded in on itself, so that's just whatever. And we'll close this up. And just give a quick test of all the buttons. They seem to be just fine. Okay, now we can screw this back in. Okay, that's one handset ready to go. And I'm going to do the rest tomorrow because I'm getting too tired. It's the next day. I had to stop because I was getting tired and making mistakes. So now we're going to finish up these handsets and then we'll get on to the base. Okay, now for the cradles. Now we know that the black charging contact is on the right and the red charging contact is on the left. And then the wires are supposed to go in these little channels here. Which is proving to be the most difficult part. Okay. That should be it. Close this up. And it hooks on the back, so you're going to have to push it down and forward on the back. It's got some of that stupid white stuff on the back. I thought we was going to see that on the handsets, but surprisingly we didn't really see it on the handsets. Okay, now for the base. I'm not sure that there's no water stains or anything on that window. It doesn't look like it. Got some of that stupid white stuff on the base as well. Okay, so this is going to go on here like this. And the speaker that's bigger than that in the handsets will go like that. Now, something doesn't seem quite right about this. I would think that there should be a gasket or something there. I wonder if I misplaced something during the cleaning. Maybe not. It seems to fit down pretty firm. No, I guess not. Now these charging contacts take a bit of finagling to get in because of the way they're held in place. Oh, these are pretty dirty. I think these should be cleaned. This is how we're going to clean them. Actually, it's really just this one on the right that's got a little bit of, I think almost, is that rust? I don't know, what is that on there? Not interested in coming off. Well, if this has any charging problems, we're going to know that that's it. That's the issue, so we'll have to revisit that if necessary. Okay, that should be the base in full. Let's close this back up. Make sure these buttons are pressing. Feels like it. Okay, and that'll do it. It's kind of more beat up than I thought it was, but since this is a set I'm probably going to use, I guess it doesn't really matter. I think I have a nicer instance of this somewhere. I'll go grab the waterproof phone. This, of course, was very easy to clean, but this one is quite beat up, so I may actually change this one out for the one that I use outside, and I'll use this one outside anyways, instead, because this one gets pretty, the one I use outside takes a lot of abuse. So since this one, like, there's chunks missing out of the buttons and there's scratches on the screen or whatever, I'd rather use this one outside because this one's already pretty beat up. But we'll see what I do with that. Charger is still in good condition. Oops. Okay, so that completes the cleaning of the Uniden DECT1580-4WXT. We'll check this out one more time to make sure everything is still working after the cleaning, and then we'll put it into service.